Everything is always good. Everything is always great. That's what I tell myself. How can I make a change? Everything ain't always good. Everything ain't always great. Yeah, I need to make a change. I need a great escape. I need her next to me. Temporary feelings turn into permanent memories. I just can't seem to move on without letting it get to me. Yeah. 4 or 5 years in, I ain't even stopped yet. Broke a couple hearts in the process. Rather be all alone. I'm a star, gotta shine through the darkness. Could've had my heart down. You too worried about the likes and the comments. I don't think you understand the concept. I know I could be more honest. Smoking away all my pain. Couple Coronas, let's pour some drink. I miss being in love, I swear those were the days. Yeah, I might never have them again. Everything is always good. Everything is always great. That's what I tell myself. How can I make a change? Everything ain't always good. Everything ain't always great. Yeah, I need to make a change. I need a great.
What's up, Nerd Nation? It's your boy Chris, back again with another Nerds at 9. Y'all know what it is. If you clicked on this video, I'm going to be ranking the top 10 NBA players 23 or younger. Just a little bit different. You know, usually I just kind of react to stuff, you know, whatever's going on in the sports world, but it's not really much going on, you know, with the All-Star weekend just wrapping up. I covered that pretty much as I could. Kind of done talking about that. Ready to get back into the second half of the season. NFL, obviously over now that they played the Super Bowl. I mean, I guess NHL is going on, but, you know, I'm not much of a Chell guy. I've been watching a little bit more, but, you know, so I wouldn't really have much to offer you guys in terms of NHL talk or college basketball. So I'm just going to, you know, hopefully you're excited for the second half of the NBA season. I know I am. So talk about some of these young guys to keep an eye on. I was actually really surprised making this list that there's a lot of really, really good players in the NBA that's 23 or younger. Usually when I used to think, you know, young guy would be like about 25 or younger, you know. So now I looked and I was like top guys under 25. And it was just pretty much, you know, a bunch of superstars and guys that everyone already knows. So I cut it down to 23. Still a bunch of superstars, guys that everyone knows. A lot of guys that when we get to him on this list, you're going to be like, wow, he's still only 23. So it's fun stuff here, you know. So we're going to nerd up real quick. These are the future stars of the NBA. I got a couple honorable mentions as well. There was so many guys that I couldn't even include, so many young guys that I really like. So I'm just going to hop right into it. I mean, before I do that, though, I do want to shout out Recreation, pointing to it right here. You know, all the song titles on the side. He makes all this great music, and he allows me to use it. So thank you, Recreation. Go give him a listen. But yeah, getting into the top 10. I'll start with the honorable mentions. I'm going to go 10 to 1, build up some suspense maybe. But honorable mentions here. Got Evan Mobley of the Cleveland Cavs. The Cleveland Cavs. That was tough. But he's 20 years old. He's a rookie. Having a great season. Obviously, he was in some of the All-Star events. If you don't know about Mobley, you must live under a rock or you just don't follow the NBA because this guy's been hooping. Along with him, Cade Cunningham, also 20 years old. Both of these guys coming out of this draft class. I think they've solidified themselves as the top 2 prospects, you know, moving forward from the 2021 draft. So they're definitely honorable mentions. Not quite good enough, you know, just to be in the top 10. And I'm not saying that, you know, if I was starting a team today, I probably would pick those guys over a couple of these guys on the top 10. But, you know, my list is just who's the best right now. So those 2 guys. Deandre Ayton, he's one guy I didn't know that he was still only 23. Obviously was in the NBA Finals last year as a starting center for the Suns. He's pretty solid, averages about 16 points, 10 rebounds. So big Ayton, just barely missed out on the top 10. And then Anthony Simons, I was going back and forth on him. I had him in the top 10, then I didn't, then I did. Ultimately ended up with him off the list, but he's having a fantastic breakout season. Obviously for the Portland Trailblazers, Dame Lillard's been out. So yeah, I mean, he's had the opportunity to step up, and he's been doing that. So shout out to him. But the top 10 now, like I said, I kind of wanted to talk about, really low-key guys, nerded up. But there's so many good players in the league that are so young. These guys are going to just take over. The league's in great hands. Starting with this guy, Cleveland Cavalier, Jared Allen. Still only 23 years old somehow. I feel like this guy's been in the league at least like 5 years now. Actually, I have his stats here. He's been in the league. This is his 4th season. So 4 years in already. He's 23 years old somehow. He'll be 24, I guess, in April. So just barely made the cut. Averaging 16 points, 11 rebounds this year. Made his first All-Star team. So great season out of Jared Allen so far. I think he's really showing that he's one of the best rim protectors and, big man, just in terms of, paint beast, defense, rebounds, finishing at the rim, shooting 66.6% this year, which a lot of sixes. Might want to, mess with that a little bit. But yeah, he's having a great season. All-Star, like I mentioned. Now, some people might say that, Mobley or Cunningham, Simmons, Simons. I always want to say Simmons. But Ayton, hey, I think he's right. Like, those guys are right up there with him. But I gave Allen the nod because he made the All-Star team this year. So he must have been pretty good, right? Yeah, moving to number 9, though. This guy, I've been talking about him a lot. If you know me and just everyday talk about just random NBA players. Tyrese Halliburton. I freaking love this guy. I drafted him in fantasy probably a couple rounds before I needed to, but I just love his game. He's in his 2nd year. I talked about him a few weeks, or I think that was last week when he was traded from the Kings to the Pacers, but this season averaging pretty much 14.7 points, 7.7 assists, 46% from the field, 41.7% from 3. This guy is going to be really good, I think, in the NBA. He has a weird shooting form, so I think some people kind of sleep on him. But yeah, this guy's on. He's going to be on the big things. He was first team All Rookie last year. So yeah, in his first 4 games with the Pacers, he's without De'Aaron Fox, Davion Mitchell eating into his minutes, he's averaging 20.8 points, 11 assists. So I know that's a small sample size, only 4 games, but watch out for Tyrese Halliburton. I think the Pacers, not really the greatest organization and franchise, don't really have another star to go with him, but if they can get a star to play with Halliburton, I think they might have a nice little building block there. All right, so moving on, I'm going to pair the next 2 guys together just for a couple of reasons, but just because I think they're about the same skill level. So at number 8, I got Shay Gilgus Alexander. I think I'm saying that correctly, of the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's 23 years old. And then I have Darius Garland at number 7, 22 years old, from the Cleveland Cavaliers. I gave Garland the nod mainly because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's shown that he can be really good. He has trouble staying healthy. Also, the Thunder aren't really interested in winning, so if he's even the slightest bit nicked up, they're keeping him out. They shut him down last year, even though he wasn't hurt, so he just hasn't had the opportunity to show it as much as Garland. That's the first thing, and there's really 3 things that I put Garland ahead. The second would be that Garland made the All-Star team this year. He's playing really good basketball, having a breakout season. He was a top 5 pick in the draft. I guess that was 3 years ago now, but so he was expected to be good. He's had the talent, and the third reason, he's just a way better shooter. 37.8% this season. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for his career, 34.5% from 3, 27.8% this season. even though he's averaging more points. Garland's also averaging way more assists. So they're both really good young point guards. I think both of them can do, amazing things in this league. But, I put Anthony Edwards just slightly above him. So shout out to those guys. I mean, Darius Garland, obviously you got to see him in the All-Star game, the skills challenge. I thought he had a pretty good weekend. So keep an eye out for him. I think, if we made this list at the beginning of the season, Darius Garland probably wouldn't be on it. So I think, making that big of a jump this year, along like Anthony Simons, who I was talking about earlier, those are the guys, they're kind of wild cards because, when you go out like that, it usually means, they're a good player, especially when they're this young, and they'll continue to, keep getting better and become a star player. But I don't know. Sometimes, when you're not really playing that great before that, I mean, for his career, he's averaging 16 points and 6 assists. So he wasn't playing terrible, but yeah, I don't know. I just think, when you have a breakout year like that, there's a lot of factors. The team got a lot better. Evan Mobley's there, taking a lot of pressure off. I mean, in theory, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen will be there for the foreseeable future, setting up a really good core. So keep an eye out. If Garland can continue to develop, I really suspect Mobley will keep developing. Jared Allen just has to continue being a great rim protector. Watch out for the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is one of the scariest young teams in the NBA. And, obviously, just even going back to last year, Cleveland Cavaliers were an afterthought and nobody considered them. So, huge turnaround there in Cleveland. But, yeah, I spent enough time on those two guys. I'm going to group the next two guys together as well, just because they came in the same draft class. And they're going to keep getting compared to each other. That's LaMelo Ball, who I have at number 5. And Anthony Edwards, who I have at number 6. They're both 20 years old. I think they're both really, really good young players to build a team around. Part of the reason that I have them above Garland and Shay is just, Garland in particular, because I know it's a tough conversation between Garland and Edwards. But I think Anthony Edwards has been just as good this season as Garland. 21.9 points, 4.8 rebounds, 3.6 assists, shooting solid percentages. I think he's been just as good as Garland. And I think Garland got the nod on All-Star, one, because he's in the East, so obviously they weren't going, head-to-head. But Garland plays on the better team right now, at least. Even though Anthony Edwards' team, the Timberwolves, are in the playoffs, I think Garland, he gets more love. And, they were playing in Cleveland, so it was, if he was borderline, they had incentive to put him in front of the home crowd. So I think Edwards is a little bit better than Garland at this point in time. You could let me know if I'm wrong. Obviously, the awards, right now the accolades would say otherwise, but I'm going with what I believe and what I see on the court. But I do think LaMelo Ball is even just a little bit better than Anthony Edwards. LaMelo Ball is averaging 20 points, 7.5 assists, 7.1 rebounds. Shooting 36.7% from 3, 42% from the field. So he's not like the most, efficient shooter. But, coming into the league, people expected him to be, very inefficient and that he would have to learn, a lot. But this guy's a walking triple-double, 6'7" at point guard. Anthony Edwards plays shooting guard, and he's only 6'4". LaMelo has size. His PER is a lot higher right now. Obviously, he's better rebounder, assist man. LaMelo Ball, we all know him and love him. Not going to spend too much time on him. Just wanted to throw him a bone there. He's literally one of my favorite players in the NBA right now. And then moving on to the top 4 here. These guys, I honestly was shocked that all of them, well, not all of them, but I was shocked that most of these guys were 23 or younger. Starting with number 4, Jason Tatum. Like, how is this guy still 23? This is his 5th season in NBA. Well, technically, he is going to be 24 in a couple weeks here. So he just barely made the cut, but 25.7 points, 8.4 rebounds, 4.2 assists. Look, I've been very critical of Jason Tatum, but I also didn't realize that he was only 23 years old. So, I mean, he has a lot of time to grow and continue to get better. I really think that Jason Tatum is going to be, one of the great players in the NBA at some point. I think he'll probably win championships because that, to me, is the easiest way to be, a top player in the league is to be 6'8" or above, playing on the wing. You can affect the game in so many ways. I think, if this team can put a solid point guard with him, and he might have to shoot more efficiently. Well, he's definitely have to shoot more efficiently from three than he is this year. Only 32.9%, which is pretty bad. But he is 38% for his career. So, this might just be a little bit of a slump that he's been in or something. We'll have to, keep an eye on that. But yeah, he's already, for his career, like last year, he averaged 26 points a game. So this guy, he's already a superstar. Started in the All-Star game this year. So, yeah, we all know who Jason Tatum is. Moving on, number 3, Trae Young. Ice Trae. It's fitting that he's number 3, seeing this, that's what he's known for, is hitting threes. But actually, he's really turned himself into a good, all-around offensive point guard. He averaging 27.8 points, 9.3 assists. That's incredible. 38.3% from the three-point line, which is up from his career average. Trae Young, even in the All-Star game, I think he had 10 assists. He just has a feel that not a lot of point guards have for passing. I think passing actually is his number one attribute over shooting. I mean, you could probably say overall scoring because he can get it done. He has those floaters he hits are money, but like I said, he gets a lot of love and credit for his shooting, and it's well deserved. Nothing against it, but don't sleep on Trae Young's passing. He's one of the best passers in the NBA. Number 2, and again, like, it's incredible these guys are so good at such a young age. Number 2, Ja Morant. Like, this guy's only 22 years old. This is only his second year in the league, this is his third year in the league. Look at these averages: 26.8 points a game, 6.9 assists, 5.8 rebounds. He's averaging 1.2 steals. He's getting out there. He's only 33% from three, but he is 49.5% from the field. So obviously, he's playing to his strengths. He's not the greatest shooter, but I have seen him knock down big ones. And if the team's daring him to shoot, he will shoot it, and he'll hit some. So, I mean, they got to respect it. That's all that, it takes for him. I think this guy is incredible. We all know the dunks. We all see him on the highlight shows. We see how the Memphis Grizzlies are third in the Western Conference right now. I don't think anyone saw that coming. But when your best player goes from averaging 19 and 7 to 27 and 7, that's a big jump. The team is going to get a lot better. And Ja Morant right now, I mean, he's going to be an absolute superstar. That's all I can say. I mean, this season, don't count them out to win a championship. And if that happens, he's definitely moving to the top of this list of the top young players in the NBA. So, yeah, Ja Morant, number 2. And actually, perfect time for this comment here from Andres. What's going on, man? He said Luka or Ja this season. And that's perfect because that takes me to number 1. I got Luca Doncic. I think that just overall, Luca Doncic is a little bit more polished right now than Ja Morant. They're both not the greatest shooters. Ja Morant, 33% from 3. Luka Doncic, 33.5 from 3. So both of those guys, they definitely need to work on that aspect of their game. But Luka Doncic, I just raved about Ja Morant's stats, but Luka Doncic's stats probably even more impressive. 27.5 points, 9.2 rebounds, 9 assists a game. The percentage is a little lower, 44.9, but he's averaging about one more point a game. Like I said, shooting just a smidge better from 3, even though both aren't good. Ja Morant actually has a higher PER right now, 25.1 to Luka Doncic's 24.3. Ja Morant also has his team playing at a higher level. They're the 3 seed. I believe the Mavs are 5 or 6. Not 100% sure, but they're still in playoff team. They're not a terrible team. But I mean, the Grizzlies definitely have a deeper roster. Luka Doncic is doing this with a bunch of guys that personally I'm not big fans of. I think right now he's got to be the youngest player under 23. He's actually the same age as Ja. They're both 22, at least right now. Looking at birthdays here. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess Luka Doncic will be 23 at the end of this week here. So happy early birthday to him. He right now, to me, everyone knows Luka Doncic. Obviously, he's the face of young players. Him, Ja Morant, Trae Young. We all look at these guys, LaMelo Ball. You know, we expect them to be the next big thing. So I really expect Luka to be the next big thing. I expect him to win championships in this league, potentially be an MVP. I love his size. You know, that's another distinguishing thing. 6'7", 230 at the point guard. You know, Ja Morant 6'3". So, I mean, Ja Morant obviously makes up for that with his extreme athleticism. It's incredible, man. I mean, but yeah, both of these guys, like if I was starting a franchise, I would be torn. I'd probably take Luka just because of the size, like I mentioned. But both amazing options. Both amazing options. So let me know what you guys think. You know, if you think, you know, somebody else I left out off of this list, which, like I said, there was at least another 10 to 15 guys that are, you know, young that I'm like, oh, I like their game. You know, I like what I've seen that I couldn't even put in the honorable mention. So the league, like I said earlier, is in good hands. Put one more post up from Andre. He said, wow, I thought Luka was like 25 or 26. Yeah, man. Like, that's what I was saying. When I looked up, you know, when I started doing some research for this list, it was like shocking to me. Luka Doncic was one. And then Jason Tatum, another one. Just these guys have been in the league for a decent amount of time now. And, you know, Luka Doncic, it feels like he's already a superstar. We already consider him with just the great players in the NBA, you know, regardless of age. So the fact that, yeah, he's only 22, that just makes him, you know, maybe the most valuable trade target or piece in the NBA right now. So, yeah, like I said, this was something different for me. Trying out some new stuff here, you know. So, I mean, if you have any suggestions, you know, if stuff I should talk about in the future, you know, you want me to do more lists like this, let me know. You know, best way to do that is like the video, leave a comment on Instagram or on this video here, or, you know, just interact. You know, let me know how I'm doing here. If you want something different, if you want the same thing, it's all good. But with that, I'm gonna head out. Obviously, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and keep nerding it up. I'm gone.